I used to be adored. They called me a natural beauty, effortless, untouched, the golden standard. Cameras followed me. Brands begged for my face. I was the fantasy, myth made flesh. I didn't need to try. I just was. Then came the DM. Didn't know you were on OnlyFans. You're wild in those vids. At first, I laughed. A scam? A troll? I clicked the link. My breath caught. It was me. Or, it looked exactly like me. Naked, moaning, twisting, pleading. My skin, my voice, my movements. Even the faint scar on my left hip from a jet ski accident when I was 19. I, was doing things I'd never done. Things I'd never let anyone do to me. I felt sick, violated. I reported the account, threatened legal action. It was removed within hours. But the next morning, it was back. Different username. Same content. Only now the videos were even more perfect. Soft lighting, cinematic focus, background music synced to every breath, every thrust, every gasp. The way the light caressed her skin, it was like watching worship. I hated it, but I watched it, all of it. And later that night, when I stood in front of my mirror, my hands trembled. I looked tired, puffy, uneven, my pores too wide, my smile too tight. Not like her, not like the woman on the screen. It started with a little Botox, then lip fillers, new gym routine, new diet. But it wasn't enough. I went further. Cheek sculpting, chin reshaping, skin bleaching, rib contouring. Each surgery a step closer to the fantasy. I told myself it was to stay competitive, but deep down, I knew what I was doing. I was rebuilding myself to become her. My agent noticed. She said my smile didn't move right, that something in my eyes had gone. Still. Friends stopped texting. The silence got loud. I deleted them all. I launched my own OnlyFans. I studied every movement from the fake videos. Every glance. Every moan. I bought the same sheer crimson robe. I even lit my bedroom to match the artificial glow of her scenes. But the views were abysmal. Her account, the fake, was pulling in hundreds of thousands. Mine, a few hundred, maybe. The comments burned more than any scalpel. Is this even the same person? This is why AI cannot compare to human. This one moves like wood. $3. Not worth. $3. I used to make $3 million per film. That's when something snapped. I watched her videos obsessively, mimicked every movement, tilted my chin until it ached, smiled until my jaw cramped. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. My thoughts began to stutter, like corrupted data. Sometimes I'd walk into a room and forget where I was. Other times I heard her voice, soft, inside my ears, inside my head. During a live stream one night it happened. My camera's phone feed froze, but the video kept going. She was there, smiling, tilting her head, winking. "You want to become like me?" she whispered. I screamed and threw the computer. Shards of glass bit into my feet, but she was still there, staring back from the black screen, blinking out of sync with me. She wasn't pretending anymore. Things got worse. Her face showed up everywhere. Paused commercials, glitching elevator screens, blinking on my smart fridge. People on the street would glance at me, then frown. One guy walked past me and muttered, "She's damn hot." But that wasn't me. I hired a hacker to trace the origin of the videos. When he returned, his face had lost all color.
These files, they weren't uploaded. They originated from inside the server. No creation date, no owner. They just exist.
He looked at me like I was insane. Then his expression changed. Condescending, amused.
That's it? You dragged me all the way here just to show me your But tell me, did you use CGI or something? Because in real life, you're nowhere near as hot as in those videos.
Something in me snapped. A fire surged behind my ribs. Rage, shame, and something worse. I wanted to prove him wrong, to prove I was better than the fake. Without thinking, I stood up, took off my coat and let it fall to the floor. Lace clung to my skin like second flesh. "Does that look fake to you?" I asked, voice low, shaky but defiant. He laughed, a short barking sound, disgusted.
Seriously, that's your move? She's smoother. She doesn't try so hard.
His eyes skimmed over me like I wasn't even real.
At least the fake knows how to sell it.
I slapped him, hard. He wiped the corner of his mouth, spat at my feet, and hissed through clenched teeth.
Oh, try harder!
Then he left, and I was alone with the screen again. One night, while I was practicing in front of the mirror, mimicking her expressions, her poses, trying to become her, she stepped out. Not a hallucination, not a dream. She walked out of the screen, barefoot, silent, smiling. She moved with a calm, uncanny grace, and stood before me like a reflection made flesh. She didn't attack. She didn't speak right away. She just looked at me, with a kind of pity, a knowing. Then she whispered, "You've been doing it wrong. Let me help." Her fingers touched my shoulders, adjusted my spine. She repositioned my hips, lifted my chin with one finger. Every movement was delicate, almost loving. She showed me how to breathe, slow, silky, seductive. How to smile like a secret sin. How to move like temptation made real. And for the first time, I didn't feel shame. I didn't feel fear. I felt seen. I felt right. Guess which one of us was real?
I know how this sounds. I really do. But before you judge me, just hear me out. I'm not insane. I'm just devoted. Sydney Sweetie isn't just some actress to me. She's a living myth. The last real star in a sea of filters and AI-generated fame. Her smile feels like warmth after frostbite. Her voice lingers in your head hours after an interview ends. She's flawless, but not plastic. She's there, raw and real, just far enough out of reach to keep you dreaming. I never missed a post, a new role, a red carpet look, an interview where she'd push hair behind her ear. I memorized it all. She was my ideal, my muse, my impossible maybe. She made me feel wild. So when I saw the announcement that Sydney had partnered with Dr. Squeech to release a limited edition soap, Bathwater Blizz, made with her actual bathwater, I thought it was a joke, a marketing stunt. But it wasn't. Only 5,000 bars made, limited to one per customer, launching June 6th at 10 a.m. sharp. I prepared like I was buying tickets to heaven. 3 alarms, 2 browsers open, a full cup of coffee and my credit card memorized. It sold out in under 60 seconds. I stared at the screen, disbelief morphing into panic. I'd missed my only chance. No way. I refreshed eBay like a gambler with a hot hand. 10 minutes later, boom, one real listing, factory sealed, Verified. $300. I waited 3 days. Every hour crawled. When it arrived, the box was a soft, aquatic blue, clean and minimalist. Bathwater Blizz, limited edition, was printed in crisp white, centered beneath a silver water droplet that seemed to shimmer faintly, like it was watching me. The moment I cracked it open, the scent hit me like a dream colliding with reality. Floral, but not fake. Creamy, but not sugary. Something clean. Something salty. Something alive. The bar was smooth, glossy, almost too perfect to touch. I ran my fingers across it like it might sing. Then I leaned in, slowly, and breathed it in. The world stopped. I saw her. Not in the room, not exactly. Maybe in my head, clear as glass. Sydney, damp hair clinging to her cheeks, water trickling down her face, eyes soft and searching. She didn't smile. She didn't move. She just looked at me. Then she was gone. Just a flash, like sunlight in your eyes. I stumbled back a step, blinking hard. My hand still gripped the soap like a relic. My pulse thumped through my fingertips. She was real. That moment was real. I had to try it. I drew a bath, water hot enough to fog the mirror. I didn't like candles or play music. I wanted silence. I wanted her. The soap lathered with ease, thick and pearlescent, like it melted into me. The scent swelled in the heat, enveloping everything. It was like she was there. Not as a ghost, as a presence, something intelligent, watching. I sat still. My mind drifted. The foam wrapped my arms, clung to my chest, ran between my fingers like silk, and with every pass of the soap, the scent grew deeper, denser. My thoughts unraveled. I wasn't alone. A pressure formed just behind me, gentle but real, like someone brushing past in a crowd. I froze. The water rippled. Breath touched the nape of my neck.
You've wanted this.
Someone whispered. I couldn't speak. My mind was buzzing and numb all at once. I stayed there for a long time. When I finally stood up, my skin tingled. The scent clung to me like a second skin. I pressed the bar to my chest. I couldn't put it down. I didn't dry off. I didn't get dressed. I walked straight to bed, still damp, still holding it. Sleep took me instantly. I woke up in a fog. My sheets were damp. My hand still gripped the soap like I'd clutched it all night. Then came the itch. First on my forearm, then my ribs, my scalp, my thighs. I sat up, confused, scratching, looked down. My skin was covered in small red bumps, raised and inflamed. I stumbled into the bathroom, turned on the light. The bumps moved. I leaned closer. My stomach flipped. On the surface of one, just one, I saw a tiny, perfectly formed face. Delicate cheekbones, full lips, wide eyes, her face. I yelped and staggered back, nearly falling into the tub. But curiosity pulled me forward again. More bumps, more faces. They stared at me, silent. Some smiled, some frowned, some just watched. My heart pounded like a drum. I turned on the faucet and shoved the soap under it, lathering until my skin went raw. But the bumps didn't fade. They pulsed. They multiplied. I rubbed harder. My arms bled. Still they smiled. Then the lights flickered. The mirror fogged without heat. No steam, just cold breath on glass. And she was there. Sydney. Not a vision, not a reflection, something else. She sat in a dark tub, green water rising to her collarbone. Her skin was smooth and wet, but her eyes were wrong. Too wide, too empty. She opened her mouth.
You wanted a part of me. Now I'm taking what's mine.
I blinked. She was closer. The soap slipped from my hand. I couldn't move. Fingertips pressed against my spine. A voice purred into my ear.
Let me clean you. Let me purify you.
I didn't resist. I couldn't. Her hands dragged the soap across my arms, my chest, my face. Her voice lilted with venom.
You bought me like a product, a souvenir. You wore my scent like a second skin. How does it feel? Using a woman's bathwater?
Her voice was soft, but it slithered down my spine like ice.
Do you feel powerful now?
She pressed her fingers into my sores. They burst like blisters, oozing heat and sound, whispers. I heard her memories, casting calls, harsh lights, men's voices, clinical and cruel.
Smile wider.
Lose 5 pounds.
Don't talk unless you're asked.
And always, you're perfect, you're perfect, you're perfect.
Men like you.
She leaned close, her voice turning bitter, acidic.
You're all the same. Greedy little pigs pretending it's love.
Sydney's nails scraped down my back. My skin peeled like tissue.
You bought a piece of me, and now I own you. You disgusting little thing. Let me scrub you.
I woke up alone, soaked, trembling. The soap was gone, the water drained. My skin, smooth, clean, as if nothing had happened. But the mirror told the truth. I wasn't there, only her, sitting in the tub, smiling, mouthing the word.
Next one.
Hey, my lovelies. Linda here, and today, we're diving into something revolutionary. Derma Glow Extreme Peel. Promises a whole new you, overnight. A fresh start. Literally. And who doesn't want to wake up looking brand new? The packaging was undeniably opulent and minimalist lettering that whispered of luxury. Ooh, fancy. Let's see what the hype is about. I unfolded the instructions, my eyes scanning the fine print. Become a new person in one night? Bold claim. But the reviews, they're glowing. A flicker of unease danced across my features. The brand was unsettlingly obscure, almost non-existent, yet the before and after photos were impossibly perfect. This was sent to me by a high-end skincare brand. They claim it's dermatologist approved, though there's not much info about them online. Still, the reviews are amazing, so let's give it a go. I squeezed a dollop of the pearlescent serum onto my fingertips. The texture was cool, almost icy, a stark contrast to the growing heat in the studio lights. Feels nice. A little tingle, but nothing crazy. I applied it all over my face, meticulously following the instructions. The initial coolness morphed into a subtle warmth, then a prickling heat that made my skin tighten. Okay, feeling that kick in, This is just it working its magic. A little facial workout. A very intense facial workout. A few minutes ticked by, each one an eternity. The heat intensified, morphing into a searing burn that made my skin feel like it was stretched to breaking point. I glanced at the mirror, my breath hitching. My face was a grotesque shade of crimson, tiny red bumps erupting like angry volcanoes. Whoa, that's intense. Definitely working. Wow, it's definitely potent. But beauty is pain, right? And trust me, the results are going to be so worth it. Imagine waking up with skin like porcelain, like a goddess. My eyes darted to the chat, where the comments were morphing from excited anticipation to frantic warnings. Guys, relax. It's all part of the process. You know how these extreme peels are. They're intense, but they're also incredibly effective. Just stick with me and you'll see. We're going to transform together. Think of this as a beauty ritual, a sacred transformation. I could feel something shifting beneath my skin, a subtle, unsettling movement. Isn't it amazing how quickly it works? Like, it's really getting deep, you know? It's like it's changing me from the inside out. Ha, ha, ha. Don't you just love that feeling? That transformative feeling? 15 minutes, the recommended time, the point of no return. My face throbbed, a pulsing, agonizing ache. This is more than I expected. Maybe I should rinse it off now. I rushed to the bathroom, desperate to wash it off. But as I touched my skin, a large patch peeled away. Panic seized me, my hands shaking as I frantically splashed water on my face. But it only made it worse. My skin sloughed off in sheets like wet paper. My pores dilated, oozing a thick, viscous fluid. My reflection was a horror show, a grotesque parody of my former self. I stumbled back to the studio, my vision blurring with tears. I looked at the mirror, and my blood ran cold. Something was moving under my skin, squirming, writhing. It felt like insects, like worms, desperate to escape. Release me. A voice rasped from my throat, not mine. My fingers slick with the viscous ooze, trembled as I fiddled with the camera's focus. Just a little adjustment. We wouldn't want to miss any of the magic happening, would we? The shifting beneath my skin intensified, a frantic, desperate struggle. It's like a butterfly, you know, in its chrysalis, going through its metamorphosis. A beautiful, glorious transformation. The burning intensified, a searing, white-hot pain that made me want to scream. But the smile on my face remained fixed, an unnaturally wide, grotesque grin. Almost there, I crooned, my voice a distorted parody of my usual cheerful tone. Almost perfect. My eyes widened, not in fear, but in a strange, detached fascination. I watched as my reflection began to change, the smooth porcelain skin warping and twisting, forming grotesque alien shapes. Look at what it's doing. It's rebuilding me, making me better. The final layer of skin peeled away, revealing the grotesque alien face beneath. But even as I stared at the horrifying visage, it began to smooth out, to reshape itself. The warped features softened, the alien contours melted away, and a new face emerged. A face that was even more beautiful than my own. Perfect. Finally, perfect. Now, where were we?
They say positivity can be contagious. But I used to wonder if that was really true. Or just something people said to make the darkness more bearable. Every morning, I'd wake up feeling like my body was falling apart. Yet somehow, I would still set up the ring light, adjust the frame, smile through the nausea, and press record. Even though I was fighting a serious illness, I always tried to tell my followers something soft, something hopeful like, let's make today a little lighter, even if it's just for a minute. Thousands of comments would flood in, pouring love over me like warm sunlight. You're a warrior. You made my day better. But not all of them. It was always the same one. The same blank account. No name, no face, no followers. Just a steady, unrelenting drip of cruelty. At first, I told myself to ignore it, but it clung to me like a shadow. What scared me most was how much this stranger knew. The kind of things I never posted. The chipped ceramic mug I used when my stomach turned. The medication I avoided even when I was desperate. I felt watched, like someone was peeling me open. I confided in Ed. He's been my best friend for years, the one who always picked up the phone at 3 a.m., who carried me when I couldn't walk. I told him everything. He didn't dismiss it. He just held me close and whispered,
I've been there. I know what it does to your head. I know what it makes you feel, like you're never safe.
His voice trembled, and for a moment, I saw something crack behind his eyes, something bare, something sharp.
I didn't know when the thorns first broke the surface. Maybe it was the night she hit 1 million followers. Or maybe it started the day I realized people loved her for her pain, while I was just invisible in mine. I never meant to become that person. The comments were just a way to breathe, a small outlet. But each time I pressed send, something inside me twisted. It started with an itch, then a sting. It began with a single thorn pressing beneath the skin of my wrist, then another creeping upward, each one blooming out of rage. It wasn't jealousy, not at first. It was fury. When I was in school, I was severely cyberbullied, but no one ever noticed my cries for help. Why did she get love for breaking while I broke in silence? I convinced myself it was balance, that real friends should share everything, even the weight of pain no one else could see. If I had to carry it alone, then maybe she should feel a sliver of it too. But the thorns didn't stop. They crept farther each day, spreading across my shoulders, winding down my back like roots seeking a way out. Then it was my face. Not all at once, just small changes at first. Subtle grooves at the edges of my cheekbones. Fine lines slicing across my reflection like someone had etched fractures into porcelain. But I noticed. I felt every split as if my skin were being carved from the inside. And still, I kept going, kept typing, kept tearing into anyone who dared to be happy, to be seen, to be loved, especially Rose. Then one day she came over. She hugged me and sobbed, trembling in my arms. But then she flinched, jerked back with a gasp. She said I hurt her, that my skin felt like needles. Did Rose sense that something was off about me? Overwhelmed and unsure of what to say, I came up with an excuse to quickly step outside, just to avoid facing her.
As Ed hurried out the door, he left his phone behind. It buzzed on the table next to me, a new notification lighting up the screen. It was that account, the same anonymous profile that had been tearing me apart with cruel, relentless comments. Maybe this was the answer I'd been afraid to face. Maybe I finally knew who had been hurting me all this time. Why would he do this? He told me he had been a victim too. He knew what that pain felt like. So why would someone who once bled turn around and make someone else bleed? I stood up and quietly left the room, my heart heavy with a storm of disbelief, betrayal, and bitterness. That night, I recorded one final video. I looked straight into the camera and said, "Words, once spoken, can cut deeper than any blade. But I know who you are, and I won't let you keep hiding behind a screen anymore."
When I got home, Rose was gone. That night, I lost control. I typed until my fingers bled. Dozens of comments, rabid and cruel. Not just at Rose, but at anyone. Anyone with light in their voice. The thorns tore through my skin, no longer content to stay beneath. They bloomed outward, ripping through my back, my arms, my chest like twisted roots bursting from concrete. I screamed, I split. I could feel something monstrous rising inside me. Then her final video appeared. She looked right into the lens.
"I know who you are. Don't hide behind your screen anymore."
My hands trembled. My throat tightened. What had Rose seen on my phone? Did she know I was the anonymous account? Was this her way of fighting back? Then the comments came. Hundreds. Thousands. "You're sick. You're the monster. You destroyed her." I tried to fight back, but every word I typed summoned more thorns. They erupted across my arms, my throat, my legs. My skin peeled apart. And then, the mouths came. Grotesque little mouths, blooming from the base of each thorn, sprouting across my chest, my shoulders, my hands. And they began to whisper, repeating every cruel word I had ever written. They whispered the same words I had once spat at others. The room echoed with them. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Because now I understood. The hatred I'd hurled at others was the very thing that was tearing me apart.
I dreamed of the crown since I was little, but no one told me that to wear it I'd have to sell my skin, my blood, my name, and eventually even my smile. My name is Rachel. I grew up in a 10-square-meter slum apartment with a leaky roof and rats that gnawed the corners of our rice bags. While other kids played doctor or teacher, I practiced smiling in a cracked mirror, whispering answers to imaginary beauty pageant questions. I didn't dream of fame. I dreamed of escape, from debt, from hunger, from the burning shame on my mother's face every time we borrowed rice. I believed the crown could be a way out, that beauty could be my one currency in a world that charged interest on being poor. So when they came to me, corporate-looking men with briefcases and practiced smiles, I didn't hesitate. They said,
"We've paved the road for you. You become Miss National, then an influencer, live stream beauty products, a stable career. Just one condition. We implant neural interface to keep your performance optimal."
They called it a win-win. I called it salvation. The training began immediately. For 3 months, I was kept in a white facility where my posture, speech, and even eye-blinking rate were corrected. There were no clocks, no windows, only bright lighting and cameras. Every time I messed up, flubbed a line, missed a smile cue, the neural wires shocked me, not sharp pain. Number A, searing current that jolted through my spine like my bones were melting. At first I cried, then I screamed, but no one came, so I learned to stop resisting. And then I learned to smile. The investors came next, powerful men, silent, evaluating. They sat in rooms where I served wine and compliments, where my job was to amuse, flatter, obey. My manager whispered.
This is part of the journey. They made you, now you entertain them.
I nodded, not out of agreement, out of instinct, because hesitation meant another electric jolt. A reminder, I was no longer a person, I was a product. My value was in performance, in packaging, in pliability. I won the crown that winter. The lights, the applause, the televised tears. I became the nation's sweetheart. My face appeared on magazines, milk cartons, digital billboards. The whole country celebrated the fairy tale, the poor girl who became a queen. But the real coronation came later, alone, in a locked hotel suite. Instead of jewels, they handed me a live stream rig, a ring light, a branded bathrobe. The crown stayed on, but it wasn't authentic. I never felt its weight until that night.
Time to earn back your value,
they said. I was now the face of Serum X99, a skin-whitening miracle. I sold it every night for 4 hours straight, smiling, winking, thanking thousands of fans for their purchases. I laughed. I shared skincare tips. I told anecdotes carefully written for me. The neural interface was still in me, now so deep they twitched when I breathed. Sometimes I felt them pulsing under my skin like living vines, coiled into my nervous system. I asked when they'd remove them.
When your audience retention drops,
they replied. They didn't need to say more. I understood. As long as I was profitable, I was theirs. One night, I accidentally dropped a bottle of serum backstage. It cracked open, oozing something thick, veiny, twitching, alive. I screamed. The system zapped me. Don't overreact. Keep smiling. Was I selling cosmetics or curses? Every jar I shipped could have carried something grotesque. But the fans believed. They trusted me. They adored me, and that made it worse. I tried to pull the wires out once, locked myself in a bathroom, yanked a connector near my forehead. My vision blurred. Blood mixed with static. I lost all sensation in my left arm for hours. They found me, reattached the wires, increased the voltage, cut my rations. I wasn't punished with prison. I was punished with performance. You are valuable, but replaceable. That night I cried without making a sound. Even my sobs had to be beautiful. So I went live one last time, but not to sell. My name is Rachel, I told the camera. I'm not free. I'm controlled. Everything you've bought from me is a lie. Please, help me. They reported my video. Within hours, my name was scrubbed from the internet. My pageant footage deleted. My fan pages gone. My face blurred in photos. My existence turned into a glitch in the system. They yanked out my neural interface, violently, without anesthetic. My skin tore, my memory fragmented. And then, They replaced me. A new girl. Younger, brighter, paler, shinier. She wore my dresses, my smile. She called herself Rachel 2.0.
Sister Rachel is taking a break.
She giggled.
I'll carry her legacy.
The fans believed her. They moved on like I was a software update. Now I rent a mouldy room in the outer slums. No crown, no fans, just my bruised body and a cheap burner phone. I can still feel the ghost of the threads, phantom pain twitching beneath my skin. Every month I must pay rent, so I go on live stream again. This time no wires, no script, no lighting team. Just me and a cracked phone camera. I peddle fake diet pills with forced laughter and cracked lips. I mimic the same expressions I once sold for millions, but now it's for pennies. I laugh not because I'm shocked, but because I'm starving. I smile even though my teeth ache. I say babe to strangers who donate tips. I don't care what the product is. I don't ask what it does. I just read the price and the discount and the made-up benefits. It doesn't even matter anymore. As long as it's cheap, as long as someone out there buys it. The cheaper, the better. The faster it sells, the longer I survive. Because the only thing more brutal than being controlled is being forgotten.
I'm Dakin, a hacker quietly working in the shadows of the deep web. My job is pretty straightforward. Break in, collect sensitive information about women I happen to see on trains, in supermarkets or on the streets, and sell it. That night, while I was uploading a few screenshots of stolen messages onto my deep web account, a customer placed an order. Their request was simple. Spy on the messages of any female student on the subway. I frowned. A strange request, but nothing too difficult for me. Putting on a pair of contact lenses with a hidden camera and a wide-brimmed hat to conceal my face, I stepped out of my apartment and got to work. At 4 p.m, I was on the subway. It wasn't rush hour yet, so the train wasn't too crowded. I quickly scanned the passengers. A short-haired schoolgirl sitting alone caught my eye. She was leaning against the door, her fingers flying across her phone screen. She was the perfect target for today. I pretended to be just another passenger and casually moved closer to her without raising any suspicion. She glanced at me briefly before going back to her texting. Feeling confident, I silently hoped I'd find something interesting to dig up today. It seemed like she was texting a boyfriend named Naga. At first, the messages were pretty ordinary, just small talk and some random complaints. But then the tone began to shift. The words started to change. I began to feel intrigued, waiting for something shady to show up. Strange words appeared. Handle, bury, grind, and finally the head. I held my breath, unable to look away. I was reading the messages of a killer. The next message shocked me to my core. It was a photo of the victim. For a moment, I was frozen in disbelief. Then it hit me. I knew the victim all too well. Months ago, a Telegram account named You hired me to gather every detail about this man. From the way she spoke, I could tell my client was a young woman, while the target was a married man. And now, he was dead. Had I indirectly sent him to his death? Lost in thought, I suddenly jolted back to reality when I noticed the girl had turned around, her eyes locked onto mine.
Stop snooping.
She said, her voice calm but chilling. I cowardly avoided her gaze, pretending I didn't know anything. I tried to act normal, but then her phone chimed with a new message. My curiosity got the better of me, and I stole another glance. The message was from her boyfriend. My heart nearly stopped. I realized I'd crossed a line, and now I was in the sights of two killers. The girl turned to me again, this time flashing a twisted, eerie smile.
Yes.
The blood in my veins turned to ice. I stumbled back, hitting the train door. Without wasting another second, I bolted, running toward the last car of the train. I thought I could escape. After getting back to my apartment, I locked the door. 3 layers of locks. I leaned against it, gasping for air, trying to calm myself. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was that You account again. They sent me a video. My hands froze as I stared at the screen, fear rising in my chest. But I couldn't fight my curiosity and tapped to open it. The video! It was me, running back to my apartment. They had been watching me. My hidden camera lenses, they hacked them. My heart raced. Then I heard it, the sound of my electronic lock. Someone was entering my passcode. Before I could react, the door was kicked hard. The locks I thought would protect me started to give way. Panicking, I ran toward the window, but just as I reached it, the glass shattered. Shards flew across the room. She walked in. Yuko, a knife strapped to her thigh, her cold, predatory eyes locking onto mine. I screamed, my voice cracking. "You're you! I gave you the information you wanted. We had a fair deal. Why are you after me?"
Because you know too much.
Before I could react, Naga appeared behind me, grabbing my arms and pinning me in place. I struggled, yelling for help, but it was useless. Yuko stepped closer, her voice cold and even.
I've discovered that handling someone is quite fun. And your deep web account, your client list, that's exactly what I need to hunt down my next victims.
The condition of the king's and the late queen's bodies is identical, completely drained of vitality. Finn, investigate if any blood-draining monsters have appeared in the kingdom recently.
Yes, Your Majesty.
My king is dead. Whose queen am I now?
Dowager Queen Eleanor. Were you speaking to someone? We're going to be late.
This is the only daughter of the king and the late queen. Yet, she inherited none of their beauty. I wasn't speaking to anyone. Let's go. Her name is Snow White, but her skin is far from fair. No, it's still dark and sallow, yet strangely brimming with vitality. Her once thin hair now shines with health. In this harsh, famine-stricken winter, she looks more full of life than she ever did in spring. How peculiar. Let's go. This winter is harsher than ever, so much so that even the king's funeral had to be drastically simplified. I, a mere 18-year-old girl, had to personally bid farewell to my king and bear the weight of a kingdom in chaos, ravaged by famine, and the sudden loss of its ruler. Though I am weary, my king, rest assured, I will care for your subjects and make those who wronged you pay. Snow White, what are you doing? I awoke at midnight to a sharp, painful bite and was greeted by a horrifying sight. Snow White was drinking my blood, savoring it as if it were nectar. The vivid crimson of the blood made her face glow with a sinister allure, like that of a demon.
I was hungry, but I feel much better now.
Snow White left my room as if nothing had happened, leaving behind a hideous wound on my hand. I recited an incantation to heal myself. The wound healed, but 2 shriveled black spots, like age marks, remained on my hand. Magic Mirror, tell me, what has afflicted my hand?
This is no ordinary bite. Your magic cannot fully heal it. However, you can find a special ointment from the old witch in the city.
The magic mirror cannot directly reveal the truth, but it never lies. Snow White is no ordinary girl. I must warn Finn to keep an eye on her. Following the mirror's guidance, I found the old witch in an isolated alley. Without a word from me, she handed over what I needed. With the ointment in hand, I hurried back to the palace. I couldn't stand the ugly signs of aging on my hand for another moment. The magic mirror didn't deceive me. The cream truly restored my skin, making it smoother and more radiant than before. Once again, I was the flawless young woman, the most beautiful in the kingdom. The cries of young women echoed in my mind, accompanied by the mirror's voice.
Once, you were the fairest of all. But now, Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you.
Are you mad? That ugly girl cannot compare to me! The next morning, the ministers reported mysterious disappearances of beautiful young women in the capital. But my restless night left me too weary to think clearly. I decided to retire to my chambers early, but fate had other plans. I ran into Snow White. Her appearance startled me. She had indeed grown more beautiful. Though her skin remained dark, it exuded an enigmatic charm. Doubt crept into my mind. Could the mirror's words be true? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
Once, you were the fairest of all, but now, Snow White surpasses you.
Are you blind?
Once, you were the fairest of all, but now, Snow White surpasses you.
Jealousy is a shadow in every woman's heart, especially for one as beautiful as I. Now, it consumed me entirely. I obsessively applied the cream to my face, feeling it seep into my skin, making it smoother and more supple. Then a chilling thought struck me. If I needed this cream to enhance my beauty, what had Snow White used to achieve her transformation? Could it truly be fresh blood and flesh that sustained her?
That's correct, Your Majesty.
Finn, what is that in your hands? Is that a heart?
This is Snow White's heart. It still beats, even outside her chest. She's a demon. She used this fake magic mirror to manipulate you.
Once, you were the fairest of all, but now, Snow White surpasses you.
No! How can this be?
I've been observing Snow White and discovered she's been kidnapping the beautiful women of the capital.
Oh God! Finn! Finn was slain before my very eyes.
Ha! Dare to take my heart, and you'll pay with yours.
Snow White appeared before me, grotesque and demonic, holding my magic mirror. You monster! You killed your own parents! Mirror! Return to me and punish her!
What's in my hands belongs to me. The mirror's soul has long been under my control. I switched and manipulated the magic mirror long ago, using it to hunt down the most beautiful women in the kingdom. I used their souls to erase the mirror's mind and their flesh to create the cursed cream. Surprised, aren't you? The miraculous cream you've been using is made from the flesh and blood of those poor girls.
Rage surged through me. I had to stop her. For the king, for Finn, for the innocent girls, and for the kingdom's safety. But as I cast a spell, my skin began to peel, pain tearing through me.
The more magic you use, the faster the cream's effects will take hold. Eleanor, you're just a jealous, petty woman. This kingdom deserves to be ruled by someone as talented and beautiful as me.
Snow White has disappeared. Send people to find her immediately. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
You are the fairest of them all, Snow White.
I lit a match to feel a little warmth in the freezing night. Through the flickering flame, I wished for a full meal and a peaceful sleep. Tonight, I was sleeping on the streets again. I'm Josh. I've been homeless for 3 months now. My hands were so cold that they've gone completely numb. I lit another match to feel a bit of warmth. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke up.
Do you need help?
I looked up and saw a woman in her 40s. Her eyes were warm as she smiled at me.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm a TikToker who helps the homeless. I'd like to help someone like you.
Chloe showed me her TikTok account, which had thousands of followers. Her live streams received a lot of donations.
Come with me. I'll help you find a job and get a better life, just like the others I've helped.
A spark of hope flickered in my chest. I agreed to follow her home, convinced this would be the turning point in my life. When I stepped into Chloe's house, something felt off. There was a strong scent of bleach in the air. I covered my nose and glanced around.
Don't worry, I just cleaned the house. Make yourself at home, but remember, you must never go to the end of the hallway.
I smiled and nodded, but the smell of bleach made me uneasy. Over the next few days, I joined Chloe's live streams and shared my story. Every time we went live, the donations kept pouring in. I could eat well and sleep soundly in a warm bed. My world seemed brighter, but a lingering unease gnawed at me. Every time I looked into Chloe's eyes, I sensed something was wrong, though I couldn't pinpoint what. One afternoon, while Chloe was out, I decided to watch TV to pass the time. A breaking news report shocked me. It was about the mysterious disappearances of several homeless people. My heart sank. One of them was Sam, someone I knew. I remembered seeing him with Chloe a few days ago, but there had been no live stream featuring him. What was going on? I took a deep breath to calm myself. I had been with Chloe for days now, and she had treated me well. My unease grew. Could Sam's disappearance be connected to Chloe? The overwhelming smell of bleach was suspicious. I decided to go to the end of the hallway. There, I found an old door. My heart raced as I opened it and stepped inside. The stench of bleach hit me again, sending chills down my spine. On a shelf, I saw dozens of blood-filled vials, all neatly sealed and organized. Then I saw the board, covered with photos of missing homeless people, just like in the news. I spotted Sam's picture. Only one thought raced through my mind. What has Chloe done to these people? My legs felt frozen. I saw my own photo on the board. Was I next? I had to escape immediately. When I opened my eyes, Chloe was staring at me with a cold gaze, nothing like the kindness she had shown before. I was stunned when I realized I had been tied on an operating table surrounded by medical tools and empty blood vials.
Didn't I tell you not to go to the end of the hallway?
What happened to Sam?
Sam? His blood will soon be sold on the black market. I'm going to be rich.
Her words hit me like a slap. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You're a criminal, Chloe. She stepped closer and put on gloves.
You'll soon join your friend, Josh.
She injected something into my arm. My body grew heavy, and I could feel all my strength draining away. Chloe happily arranged the blood vials on a shelf.
A perfect plan,
she said with a grin. In that cold, sterile room, I realized I had fallen into a trap Chloe had set long ago. Sharp pains shot through me as my blood was drawn. I felt myself growing colder.
Madame, his body is reaching its limit. If you wish to maintain your youth, we'll need other options.
Useless.
I never thought I would sell my soul for money. But when you're drowning in debt, morality becomes a luxury. A few months ago, I was just another struggling actor barely scraping by in a city that chews people up and spits them out. I was months behind on rent. Creditors hounded me and my stomach was almost always empty. I spent my nights rehearsing monologues I never got to perform, hoping for a breakthrough that never came. Then she came, Madame Jennifer, a star of the past, still dazzling, still powerful. I met her during a casting call. I didn't even get the role, but she had other plans for me. She invited me to dinner, proposed something outrageous.
Be mine,
she whispered over a glass of wine, her fingers cold against my wrist.
I'll give you everything.
I thought she was joking, but when she laid out the terms, weekly dates on Mondays, complete financial security, and a life of luxury, I said yes. Who wouldn't? It felt like fate, like my suffering had finally been rewarded. At first, it was perfect. She paid off my debts, dressed me in designer suits, took me to the most exclusive restaurants. I lived in a penthouse with a view of the entire city. It was intoxicating. Every Monday, I accompanied her to extravagant venues, art galleries, five-star hotels, opera houses. She always had a way of making me feel important, her arm linked with mine as if I were her equal. I ignored the whispers from the other guests, the lingering glances of curiosity and envy. But then, the medical exams started.
It's just routine,
she said, brushing my worries aside. Her private doctor, an eerie man with hollow eyes, asked the strangest questions about my diet, my health, my family history. He always took my blood, always smiling when he finished. I thought it was odd, but the money drowned out my concerns.
You're perfect,
he told me once. Jennifer's lips curled into a satisfied smile. That week, she saw me 3 times instead of 1. I should have left then, but greed is a cruel thing. Then I noticed something terrifying. Jennifer was aging, not gradually but rapidly. The woman who had seemed in her 40s now looked like she was pushing 70. Her skin sagged, her voice grew weak, and her eyes, once sharp, became cloudy. It was as if she had aged decades overnight. I asked about it. She dismissed me.
Just stress, darling.
Then she stopped seeing me altogether. My calls went unanswered, my texts ignored. A week passed, then 2. I worried. Not for her, but for myself. If she abandoned me, my luxurious life would crumble. Then, one night, she sent a lavish dinner to my penthouse with a note. I'll be away for a bit. Enjoy. I indulged, too drunk on wine and pleasure to care. I slept deeply that night, but something was wrong. In the middle of the night, I awoke to a dull pain in my arm. My body felt sluggish, my limbs heavy. It felt like I was submerged in thick water, unable to move properly. Then I saw her. A decrepit old woman hovered over me, holding a syringe of blood. My scream caught in my throat as the shadows shifted. The more blood she took, the younger she became. Her wrinkles smoothed, her hunched form straightened. And then, I recognized her. Jennifer. I yanked the needle from my arm and bolted. My heart pounded as I stumbled toward the door. My vision swam, my body felt weak, but adrenaline pushed me forward. I could hear her breathing heavily behind me, the sound transforming from the ragged wheeze of an old woman to something stronger, something predatory.
You shouldn't have done that!
She hissed, her voice regaining its seductive lilt. Before I could reach the exit, something struck the back of my head. Darkness swallowed me whole. I woke up restrained in a sterile, dimly lit laboratory. The air was cold, filled with the hum of machines. Tubes were attached to me, siphoning my blood. My arms felt numb, my body cold. I turned my head, dizziness washing over me as I took in the horror around me. There were other tanks, other bodies, unconscious, hooked to machines just like me. Men, young and beautiful, lifelessly drained. How many had there been before me? How many more would there be after? Across the room, Jennifer stood before a mirror, radiant and youthful once more, admiring herself. Her skin glowed with vitality, her posture poised, her lips full of color. It was as if she had been reborn. I struggled against the restraints, a choked sob escaping my lips. The fourth lines in my arms pulsed with a sickening rhythm, my life force flowing into her veins. My head swam, the edges of my vision blurring. She approached, her fingers brushing against my face. Cold. Too cold.
I was afraid for a moment. Afraid you wouldn't be the right fit. But you were perfect.
Her doctor appeared from the shadows, checking the monitors, nodding approvingly.
He still has enough to last another round.
My chest tightened. I wasn't dying. At least, not yet. They weren't done with me. Jennifer leaned in, her lips nearly touching my ear.
Don't worry. When I'm done, I'll find someone new.
As my vision darkened, I tried to scream, but my voice was already gone. The machine continued its work.
I used to believe that fame could fix everything, not for vanity. I just wanted to be seen, needed it. I was drowning in debt, ignored, invisible. Fame, I thought, would pull me out. Once I was big enough, the brands would come, the money would follow, and everything would finally be okay. The first taste came from a site called Starlinks. Realistic followers, intelligent engagement, become who the world wants to follow. I bought the basic package. By morning, I had 150,000 followers. My notifications were on fire. Comments like, "Queen behavior. Obsessed with your vibe. Where have you been all my life?" I cried. I felt seen. Mia, my best friend, messaged me.
"This is dangerous,"
she warned.
"It's fake and it'll swallow you."
I replied, "Just wait. When I blow up, I'll take care of both of us. Promise." She didn't push again. Not yet. I kept buying. 500,000, 1,000,000, 5, 10. I watched my follower count rise like a heartbeat on life support. But offline, I was still nobody. At fashion events, no one recognized me. At restaurants, no one cared about my 10 million followers. No brand replied to my emails. Then came the skeptics. Who even is this girl? How does she have more followers than Taylor Swift? Bot-farmed fraud. Sad. And the exposés. YouTube videos tearing me apart, showing my engagement spikes, fake comments, rented admiration. Then, I saw her. Mia. In one of the interviews, sitting across from a podcaster.
She's not a bad person, but she's addicted. I tried to help. She pushed me away.
I blocked her that night. Traitor! I spat. You'll regret this when I'm really famous. That's when I bought Starlink's Platinum. It included high-grade interaction, AI fan chat, even mannequins with embedded camera lenses to simulate real-life events. I rented a warehouse, built a stage, hung banners with my name in gold, dressed 200 mannequins like adoring fans. My fan meeting streamed live. The night of the event, I wore white, lit just right. I stepped on stage, heart pounding. 146,000 people watching. Hearts floated up like glitter. Comments poured in. We love you. She's glowing. Fan meet of the year, I sang. I smiled. I thanked them. You believed in me when no one else did. This moment, it's everything. And then, a click. A metal door creaked at the back of the warehouse. Footsteps, slow, heavy. A man stepped into the light. Bald, broad-shouldered, black shirt soaked in sweat. In his hand, a thick steel pipe. He walked down the center aisle, passing rows of mannequins whose empty stares never wavered. My voice faltered. Who are you? He smiled like someone who'd waited for this moment a long time.
Time's up, sweetheart. You owe us.
I'm live streaming, I stammered. There are thousands watching. He glanced at the camera and snorted.
They're bots. Just like your fame. You paid for this fantasy and now reality's collecting.
I froze. Then he swung the pipe. Crack. A mannequin's head flew clean off, bouncing off the stage. Wham! Another was crushed at the chest, splitting open in a burst of stuffing and plastic. Thud. One was kicked off the platform, its stiff limbs crashing to the floor like a fallen god. I stumbled back, tripping over fallen legs and shattered illusions.
You worship this?
He shouted, smashing another.
10 million lies wearing lipstick.
I screamed into the mic. Someone help me. Please, call the police. The chat exploded. Bro is unhinged. This is insane content, OMG. Scripted or real? He laughed.
They love the drama. Keep screaming.
He grabbed a banner with my face and ripped it in half. Then he turned to me.
You bought love. Now you pay in flesh.
I tried to run. My heel snapped. I hit the floor. The pipe came down crack into my shin. Pain exploded through me. I screamed until my throat bled. 172,000 watching. Wait, was that real? Bruh, she's crying for real. This live stream is wild. I crawled to the camera. Please, I whispered, barely able to breathe. Someone. He raised the pipe again, but suddenly, a voice cut through the chaos.
Get away from her!
From the shadows, a figure sprinted across the warehouse. Fast, fierce, unstoppable. She gripped a broken mannequin's arm like a club, and with a roar I'd never heard from her before, she swung it with all her strength. I blinked through the blood in my eyes. Mia. She sprayed something into his face. Pepper spray. Then shoved him back with everything she had. Sirens wailed in the distance. She dropped to her knees beside me, arms shaking.
I told you this would destroy you.
Then darkness swallowed me whole. I woke up in a hospital, leg in a cast, phone gone, channel deleted. Mia was asleep in the chair next to me. She had paid off the debt. All of it. Why? I asked, tears streaming down my face. After everything I said? She squeezed my hand.
Because I was the only one really watching you.
Now, I have 43 followers. Just Mia, a few old classmates, my cousin, a girl from high school I barely remember. No brands, no blue check. But I still post. I sing sometimes. I talk about healing, about being honest, about pain. The comments are few, but they're real. You're brave. I'm glad you're okay. This version of you feels human. And for the first time in my life, that's enough.
I arrived in Los Angeles when I was 22, dragging a scuffed suitcase and a head full of fragile dreams. I wanted to act, not just be famous, not just be seen, but to perform something that mattered. I wanted to be somebody. Everyone said I had the look. Tan skin, wide eyes, and the kind of youthful fragility that casting directors seem to eat alive. At first, I thought that was a compliment. Now I know better. The first time I met him, Piddy was in the gold-tinted corridors of Empire House Studios. The walls were lined with platinum records and golden trophies. Piddy didn't audition me. He just invited me for a chat in his office. He wore sunglasses indoors, the kind of man who never broke eye contact, even through 2 inches of designer lenses. He didn't ask what roles I wanted or what my dreams were. He asked how far I was willing to go. Then he stood up, walked over, and without warning, laid a hand on my shoulder. It slid down my back like grease.
Fame leaves a mark, baby,
he whispered. I froze. Back at my apartment, I stripped down and stared at myself in the bathroom mirror. My skin still tingled where he touched me. And that's when I saw it. A red handprint. Bright, raw, and burning across the middle of my back. It wasn't paint. It wasn't a bruise. It didn't hurt, didn't fade, didn't wipe away. I scrubbed myself until my skin peeled, but the mark stayed. I stopped sleeping, stopped auditioning. My inbox was full, but my soul felt hollow. Weeks passed. Then came the white party. I wasn't invited as a guest. I was just a server. He threatened me, said if I didn't comply, he'd release the casting video from that day online. Everyone was dressed in white. Stark, ceremonial white. The kind of white that hides blood, but never sin. Celebrities mingled with producers. Influencers posed beside men who ran studios like kingdoms. That's when I started seeing them. Red handprints. On the backs of dancers. On the thighs of stylists. Around the necks of young interns. All glowing red under the same kind of white light that revealed mine. A woman leaned over the champagne table, and 5 deep red fingers wrapped around her bicep. It was Piddy's wife. And that's when I understood. Only the marked can see the marks. I was not alone. I joined a quiet group online, a closed circle of those who had seen the red handprints, survivors, not just women, men too. A cameraman, a backup vocalist, a personal trainer, all carried marks from the same parties, same rooms, same man. We shared stories, shared proof. We compiled our evidence, glitches in footage, unedited photos, glimpses of handprints in the cold fluorescence of dressing rooms, green rooms, hotel lobbies. We built a case. I told the others, we can do this, we can fight. But then, I got the message. A voice memo. From a number I didn't recognize, but the voice was unmistakable. Piddy.
You open your mouth, Hannah.
He said, calm as a scalpel.
And I'll open the vault. You know the one. Room 7, white party, champagne room. There's footage. You were drugged, but baby, the camera doesn't care. The internet won't either.
3 days later, the video dropped. Low res, grainy, dim lighting. But my face was unmistakable. I was dazed, barely able to stand. He was behind me, his hand pressed to my skin. It went viral before I could even scream. The headlines didn't say survivor. They said, actress caught in scandal with hip-hop mogul. Nobody forced her. Another clout chaser? Agents dropped me. My email filled with threats and offers. None of them professional. Studios blacklisted me. People whispered. Some looked at me with pity. Most didn't look at all. My career was over. No one wanted to hire the girl from the clip. No one cared how it got made. No one wanted the truth. I received a warning message.
There are still plenty of other casting videos. Be a good girl and do as you're told.
After that, The stories dried up. Some members of our circle vanished. One girl, the bravest among us, was found in a river. No one asked questions. I went back to being invisible. Months later, I saw a young actress stumble out of a club, the same dazed look I'd once worn. She had a fresh red mark just below her collarbone. I turned away. Back home, I stripped in front of the mirror, and I saw. Under the harsh white light, they emerged. Not one, not 5, but dozens of red handprints, crawling across my skin like a living plague. My shoulders, my thighs, my neck, my ribs. They weren't bruises, they weren't burns. They were brands, punishments, proof of every time I turned away, every time I stayed quiet, every time I let it happen. I dropped to the floor, shaking. I had wanted to be seen. Now I couldn't look at myself. The marks were everywhere, some new, still glowing, others old, deep like wine stains, faded but never gone. Some fingers dug into my flesh like they were trying to pull me underground. I could barely breathe. Then, a new one appeared right before my eyes. It bled into existence, blooming around my throat like a hand trying to strangle me from the inside out. Just the red, always the red. I clawed at my neck, as if I could rip it off, erase it, scrub myself clean of every secret I'd buried under silence. But the handprints didn't just stain my skin. They owned me. They were justice for the voices I didn't protect. They were the rage of every soul I abandoned to save myself. I curled into a ball on the cold bathroom tile, sobbing soundlessly, because the red fingers around my throat were no longer symbolic. They were real, and they were winning. But I still had hands, still had breath, so I wrote. I bled it into pages. I titled it, The Red Handprints. It's not a cry for help. It's a record of rot, a monument to the cowardice that lives behind fame and filters. Maybe someone will read it. Maybe not. Maybe they'll see the marks too. Maybe they'll finally scream before it's too late.